Alright, so everybody, if you are watching this video, you're probably needing some extra support with understanding photosynthesis and respiration, and you've got a homework assignment. And so what I want to do is first turn your attention to what's on the screen here, and I'm just going to see if I can make this full screen for us so these other distractors aren't around. Let's see, let's go to full screen. Okay, so you see here I just put the simple definition of photosynthesis. You need to know this. You got to memorize it, basically just kind of understand it. And photosynthesis is that remarkable process by which plants actually capture and use sunlight, energy from the sun, to make their own food. Okay, now animals, you and me, we do not make our own food. And thank goodness, because I would love to eat, right? It's so much fun to get together with friends and have a big cookout or whatever. What would our lives be like without that? But not plants. Plants actually, through a process known as photosynthesis, they collect sunlight and make their own food. Now, what people have had trouble with in class is this equation here that I've wrote on the smartboard. So as you'll see from this smartboard video screen, you've got light energy here, as I've explained, coming from the sun, shining on a plant. And the plant also takes in some carbon dioxide, okay, right here. 6 moles is how you'd properly say it, 6 moles of CO2. The little 2 here is referenced here in the dioxide, so you can learn a lot from prefixes of words. Carbon dioxide, meaning 2 molecules or 2 atoms of oxygen and 1 carbon atom combined to make a carbon dioxide molecule, plus 6 moles of water, or 6 parts of water is another way to say that. Okay, so again, light plus carbon dioxide plus water. So these are the inputs of photosynthesis. And when that happens, it yields, that's the arrow here in the center, the plant makes or produces, products is another vocabulary word from our chapter. Sugar, C6H12O6, is actually the chemical formula for glucose. So photosynthesis, the product of photosynthesis, is sugar and oxygen. So it gives off these wonderful products that we've got to have for life. Oxygen that we breathe, and the sugars. Now let me go to the next slide and look at respiration. Okay, let me see here. Okay, respiration is the process by which cells in plants and animals obtain energy from glucose. So now look at this formula. What do you notice about this equation for respiration as compared to the one on the last slide? If you'll look carefully, and we went over this in class, it's the exact opposite. So if you can remember one of these, if you can remember respiration or photosynthesis, then you can remember the other one is the exact opposite. So here are the products of photosynthesis, which are the inputs of respiration. Respiration, when we respirate, we take in or use sugar and glucose that we've eaten from our food, and oxygen that we breathe in. When we inhale, we take in that oxygen, okay? And our cells use and convert that through a process of respiration back into what it was prior. Carbon dioxide, 6 parts of carbon dioxide. When I exhale, I'm getting rid of some of that carbon dioxide, plus some water. If you're exercising vigorously, you know that your cells are kicking out water because you are perspiring and you're sweating, you know, and you're wiping that sweat off, and you know that water is being kicked out of those cells. Plus energy, and that's many times in the form of heat. Our bodies generate heat, and that is a way that we obtain our energy to move about, to study, to text your friend, to do everything that you do in life is from this process of respiration. So the next thing that I want to show you is just some ways that you can study this and memorize it, because I know that's a lot to memorize, but you've got to utilize some kind of memory trick or a rhyme or or some rhythm or something to just help you remember one. If you can remember one, then you know the other one's the opposite. So let me just escape from this and show you something that I found on YouTube that's pretty cool. That is one way a student I found was studying this equation for photosynthesis. And you're going to see that there's a small part of this equation. Actually, he left out the part from the sun, but it gives you the idea of what it is that you need to do. Check out this little video clip, this fun video clip of a way to memorize the photosynthesis equation.
Gotta get that, gotta get that, gotta get that, gotta get it, gotta get that. 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O, 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O, 6 carbon dioxide, 6 carbon dioxide, 6 water, 6 water. When you're learning about photosynthesis, this equation gotta know C6H12O6 plus 6O2.
And there it is. And so, isn't that a creative way to learn about photosynthesis and respiration and try to memorize these formulas? So work on that in your own way. You can do some YouTube research and find some other creative things. I found some fun ones out there. And then come back and look at this equation on this video for photosynthesis, and then this one here for respiration, and just study it. The memory trick we've used in class here was a person playing ball. What is it that you take in when you're vigorously playing basketball? What is it that you're giving off? Because that's evidence of cellular respiration. But come up with your own way to study over it. And then, okay, so what I want you to do to complete this homework assignment now that you've watched the video is I want you to take out a piece of paper and I want you to write down the formulas that are on this video for photosynthesis and respiration. And by whatever means you choose and whatever memory tricks, I want you to learn the inputs and outputs of each. And then I want you to take this piece of paper and I want you to give it to preferably one of your parents. If one of them's not available, your guardian or maybe another teacher or someone that can verify it. Now, while they hold that piece of paper, I want you to explain to them the inputs and outputs of photosynthesis and respiration. And on the bottom of that page, I just want you to write a sentence saying, I verified that this student can explain to me the inputs and outputs of photosynthesis and respiration, and then have them sign it to verify it. And I want you to bring me that piece of paper with the formulas and their signature that verified that you stated it to them. And you do that, and I'm going to accept that and give you bonus points for your last quiz. Okay? Have a good day.